Are you writing a horror story? Do you feel like you've run out of ideas? Check out the sources below. Every week we provide you with a prompt and you submit your scary story. Our team reads through them all and picks one to animate. If yours gets picked, you'll win $100 and your story will be published in our official anthology series, which has over 3 million views on Amazon. Not to mention, you'll get your very own zombie teddy bear. All right, let's get to this week's story. A chill wind whipped through the valley, carrying with it the smell of decaying leaves and something else, something indefinable that sent a shiver down my spine. I pulled my jacket tighter around me and hurried along the narrow dirt road that snaked through the woods. I could feel the eyes of the ancient trees boring into me, their gnarled branches like skeletal fingers reaching out to grab me. Up ahead, a rusted sign creaked in the wind, its paint flaking away to reveal the grim message. Trespassers will be hunted. Beneath it, a skull grinned wickedly. I hesitated for a moment, debating whether I should turn back. But curiosity, that insatiable beast, urged me onward. I pushed through a tangle of vines and emerged into a clearing. And there it was, looming before me like a specter from the past, Raven's Hollow Manor. The house had once been magnificent, but now it looked like a corpse wearing a shroud. Ivy crawled up its crumbling facade, and the windows were vacant sockets staring back at me. According to local legend, the manor was cursed. Its previous owners had met grisly ends, driven mad by some unseen force. I wasn't superstitious, or at least I told myself I wasn't. But as I stepped closer, I couldn't shake off the feeling that I was being watched. A sudden noise made me jump. Something skittered in the underbrush. I whirled around, my heart pounding, but I saw nothing. Just as suddenly, a black shape dropped from the tree above me and landed on the ground with a thud. I gasped, stumbling back. It was a raven, its eyes gleaming like obsidian beads. It cocked its head and let out a harsh croak before taking flight, disappearing into the gloom of the manor's shadow. The raven's call echoed through the stillness of the afternoon like a funeral knell. And then I heard it again, this time closer, accompanied by the distinct sound of footsteps on the roof. Footsteps that shouldn't have been there. Cautiously, I began to climb the rotting steps leading up to the porch. Each step creaked ominously, as if protesting my intrusion. When I reached the top, the front door swung open, as if inviting me inside. I hesitated, torn between my desire to explore and the primal instinct to flee. But the promise of uncovering the manor's secrets proved too tempting to resist. And besides, the alternative was admitting defeat to the unseen presence that stalked these grounds. So I took a deep breath and stepped across the threshold. Inside, the air was heavy with the scent of decay and dust. Cobwebs brushed against my face as I made my way through the gloom. Moonlight filtered through grimy windows, illuminating swirling motes of dust and revealing glimpses of the manor's former grandeur. A crystal chandelier hung suspended above, its prisms catching the moonlight and scattering it like shards of glass. Suits of armor stood guard along the walls, their visors like blind eyes staring into the abyss. In the flickering shadows, they seemed to writhe and twist as if coming alive to carry out their grim duty of guarding this house of horrors. I could feel their cold, dead eyes boring into me, judging my every move. As I ventured deeper into the house, the temperature dropped noticeably. Goosebumps erupted on my skin, prickling me like 1,000 tiny needles. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the halls, followed by the unmistakable sound of footsteps retreating into the darkness. My heart pounded against my ribs, threatening to burst from my chest. Was I really alone in this house? Or did something lurk within its shadowy depths, watching, waiting for its next victim? I gripped the poker tighter, my knuckles whitening as I called out, my voice echoing eerily through the cavernous space. "Hello, is anyone there?" Only silence answered me. A silence so profound it seemed to amplify my own heartbeat. I took another tentative step forward. "I mean you no harm," I whispered, my voice shaking slightly. "I just want to see what's here." But my words were lost in the oppressive quiet. In the distance, I heard a low growl, something guttural and primeval that sent shivers down my spine. Whatever was hiding in the darkness of this house was growing agitated. Fear threatened to paralyze me, but I forced myself to move forward, driven by a morbid curiosity and the desperate hope of finding someone, anyone, who could tell me what was happening. The growl grew louder, more menacing. And then I saw it, emerging from the shadows, a shape like a twisted mockery of a human form. Its eyes glowed with an eerie green light, and it seemed to glide across the floor, silent and deadly. Terror lent speed to my steps as I fled down the hallway. I could hear the creature moving swiftly behind me, gaining on me with every step. The sound of its heavy breathing filled my ears, a deathly symphony urging me on. I stumbled through the darkness, desperately seeking an escape. Then I saw it, a sliver of moonlight, outlining a doorway at the end of the hall. With a surge of adrenaline, I lunged toward it, flinging the door open and collapsing onto the floor on the other side. Panting, my heart hammered against my ribs, echoing the creature's heavy breathing just on the other side of the door. I huddled on the floor, my eyes wide with fear, listening intently. Silence descended, thick and suffocating, broken only by my ragged breaths. Slowly, cautiously, I rose to my feet and crept closer to the door, my hand hovering over the handle. My mind raced, conjuring images of the creature that lurked beyond. Its glowing eyes boring into me, its gnarled fingers inches away from my throat. The doorknob turned, the door creaked open. I gasped and stumbled back, knocking over a nearby chair. The creature stepped into the room. For a moment, we stared at each other, our eyes locked in a silent battle of wills. Then it spoke, its voice a raspy whisper that seemed to slither through the shadows. "You shouldn't be here," it hissed. "This house holds secrets best left buried. Turn back while you still can." I hesitated, torn between my newfound determination to uncover the truth and the primal urge to flee. But as the creature advanced, its eyes glowing with an eerie light, I knew there was no escape. I was trapped in a nightmare from which there would be no awakening. The creature lunged, and that's when I woke up. I bolted upright in bed, my heart pounding in my chest, the sheets tangled around me like a shroud. The room was dark, illuminated only by the pale glow of the streetlights filtering through the curtains. I could hear the wind howling outside, rattling the window panes like the bones of some gigantic creature. But it was just a dream, I told myself, reaching out to steady myself on the bedside table. But as my fingers brushed against something smooth and cold, my blood ran icy cold. I switched on the lamp, revealing a pair of intricately carved bone dice resting where they hadn't been before. My room, my sanctuary, was no longer my own. I was being watched, studied, categorized. I was becoming part of the collection.